Da 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 da. Good morning. I don't even know. I gotta find something to spice it up. It was da 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 da. Welcome. This is a Red and Black Sports Report. I'm trying to find a way to get my co-hosts to wake up in the morning and get off their phones a little bit. I thought Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg would do it. Colin is upset today.
What else is new?
Yeah, but this one, I really feel for him on this one. I don't know. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to rat anyone out. Colin's really upset. Mm-hmm. If you've watched this show before, Colin is accustomed, should I say, almost conditioned to have a bagel and a caramel macchiato. We followed his coffee progression and his trends of, consuming more caffeine in the morning, and today we've been cut off, unfortunately. Colin, are you awake? You good enough?
No.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Well, I just want to say this before anything else gets started. If it's going to be a rough show, it's going to be a tough one because Colin's...
This is going to be trash, probably.
Very much so. Because normally I feel like by 10 o'clock hits, right at the end of the show when we have your loser of the week and all the energy is kind of just pushing in that direction, I don't think the energy is going to be
Colin
there.
can summon energy for loser of the week. That's
he
his
does,
thing.
I can't make any promises.
I feel good about it. I'm confident.
You feel good about
Yeah.
it? Maybe we're just going to change it to Jed's winner of the week.
Well, the winner of the week is not me.
It's not you.
Yeah.
Shout out Jed. Lost the consolation match in the old tennis tournament last week that we mentioned.
All right, Colin.
It was
I heard
2-on-1.
I heard
wasn't
you
it?
lost to a solo tennis player.
But listen, she's like a pro, Colin. I swear on everything. Everything.
She's like
Because that's
a
what I
pro.
thought too.
What makes her
A
Pretty
pro.
much a pro, yes. Because I thought the same thing. Two guys. They were playing one girl by herself. I was like, okay, like, surely, the math adds up. You just hit it where she's not. It's not that hard. She was like dotting serves. She had crazy spin. Like it was mind blowing. It was very impressive. We lost. I think we lost
Every game.
We lost every game. I can't remember if it was 4 or 6. We would have lost more, but apparently you're not allowed to park there at the courts, even if you have a class. So parking services rolled through at one point, and everyone ran out to their cars. So that saved us from losing 2 or 3 more games.
Jed planted the parking service.
Yeah, he called him up. He said, hey, in about
We
20,
were down like
in about
3 games.
20
Yeah,
minutes.
we were down 3 games to none at that point.
I don't want any more of this.
I didn't. I was just
Jed's the
thing is-
Tim Donahue of
because
IM
apparently-
Tennis.
Apparently, it's like if you have a UGA permit, you're good. So my car was good. So the girl we were playing my partner went to go save their car. So I was just standing there on the courts by myself. And I was
So
like,
you
man,
sabotaged him.
Do I just leave? We know how this is going to end. But the good news is she won the over. She played another group of 2 by herself, and she
So
beat
you
them
lost
too.
to the champion, right?
Yeah, and
Okay,
the
so
2
that's
people she
redeemable.
beat were better than me and my partner. So
that makes you feel better.
so yeah, we finished.
How close
in
was
what?
it? How was the match?
The match we played against
Yeah.
her, or the match we played after that.
Against her. Yeah.
It was like 4 games to none. It was the only reason we got any points was because we had one where it was a typical
Yeah.
she would hit it and we just tapped it over the net where she was, and that was we only had 1 point like that the whole time. She double faulted a couple times, she hit it long a couple times, and I think we maybe got to a deuce once. It was a slaughter. It was a slaughter, man.
That's okay. That's all right. We're happy to have you back on the show.
Yeah,
though.
I'm glad to be back. I'm not going to lose today.
I was about to say.
I'm here with you guys,
well,
so
he's done.
I'm the biggest winner of the day.
You're done for the year, so we can
Oh.
at least expect you. Wait, no, I'm in with tennis.
Oh, with tennis? Oh, yeah, tennis is
Don't
done.
get
Yeah,
so
because we
upset.
had-
Jeez, I'm not going to cut you from the
Because
show
we had another
live.
match after that, and we lost that too, but it was more even. So I felt good about it.
Okay. All right.
So
Well, I'm glad. I'm Chad in his tennis tournament.
yeah,
Right.
So,
That's the main thing that we're worried about.
I mean, it is the Red and Black Sports Report. It's sports played by a member of the Red and Black.
Exactly.
So.
We have to open it up with some
Right.
they see you day to day. They see you
I know.
all around campus more than anything.
Right. I'm the pretty face of this newspaper. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk a little bit about Georgia football this week? It's been an interesting time. 7 spring practices and about as many arrests this spring to go with them.
Yeah.
We're up to 6 arrests so far. I have it incorrectly. I thought it was 5, and then yesterday, even with we were talking about it before the show, Robert Beal and who else was it?
Brenton Cox.
Brenton Cox, yeah, outside linebackers, man, hanging out in their free time. This brings it up to 6 arrests so far.
Well,
I don't even.
Tyler Simmons was not technically booked in jail, but he was
all misdemeanor.
He
charges.
was charged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And transported to a hospital because he said he was
technicality, but-
injured.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's up with it though? Like spring practice hits, like they were fine all throughout the. Like you would thought that like all this would come maybe earlier before spring practice hits or anything, and then this all as soon as football, like when it gets time to actually do the job and do your work, then it finally turns into all right. Let's go hang out in Athens Clark County Jail. I mean, what is y'all's thoughts on this? With you were at the press conference yesterday. What was Kirby saying?
I mean, I think I don't know that he's got necessarily an explanation on why that's happening. He said that he's very disappointed about it. He was made aware of what happened with Brenton Cox and Robert Beal right before he went out to practice and kind of learned about, at least that's what he said. He didn't know that much at the time when practice was over, but he said he's incredibly disappointed in what has happened thus far this spring and that he's done a bad job of connecting with the group and that just, I guess, instilling that playing at this football program is a privilege, or at least that's how he wants them to view it. And Kirby said that sometimes it might take a catastrophic event to really make the players realize what kind of a privilege it is. And in terms of a catastrophic event, he meant losing the ability to play there. And so he showed that maybe that he's getting pretty frustrated with it, that he's pretty much over it. And I think, at this point, it seems like a weekly occurrence where at least once Kirby Smart is mentioning an arrest and saying, I'll give a statement on so-and-so and what happened during spring practice, which that is not exactly what you want if you're Kirby Smart. There's a lot of questions surrounding this football program right now on the field, but the biggest issue has nothing to do with practice, I think. I mean, you've got 6 guys in 7 practices that have been arrested. You've got, some good players that have been key parts of your team that have been arrested. And so that makes you question what's the commitment level? Do they care? Are they going through the motions? Or are they just getting lazy with it and almost getting entitled and feeling like they're going to be at the same caliber of play? And Kirby showed that he's just got a sick of it, kind of over it. And even after all the questions were out about the arrests and Kirby's thoughts on it, later on in the press conference, somebody asked, spring practice is when you're supposed to get better. Where have you seen the team get better so far? And unprovoked, he goes, well, it ain't off the field. I can promise you that. So, I mean, he's mad. And I think, as he should be, I get why he's mad. But other than just hoping your guys have some common sense and don't do things that would get him in trouble, I don't know what else he can do than, police him himself and basically put him on lockdown. Because a lot of these things, not a lot of these, every single one of them is something that just could not have happened given a little bit better judgment. Yeah. You look at yesterday. They get charged with possession of marijuana right before practice. In
the middle of the afternoon, presumably on the way or about to be on the way to practice.
Right. That's a boneheaded mistake. Like, why would you – that doesn't make sense. And then Tyler Simmons getting in a fight at Cloud. I feel like when you're Tyler Simmons, you can kind of have the strength to – hold back and understand on the macro scale why that would not be a good thing.
If I hear one more joke about, I guess someone said he was onside, and then that
terrible. I don't want to hear that either.
I heard that one. I was like, please stop. And I'm pretty sure it was in a few of my, or it was one of our group texts as well. And so on that one, I was just shaking my head on that one.
You talk about things Kirby can do, mine. Like at a point outside, like he and the coaching staff can't babysit these guys 24/7. I don't know if it's like, and even we talk about, well, at a point it falls on players policing themselves. But even like, you look at, for example, with 2 linebackers, say, like just take Tay Crowder for an example as a senior linebacker. Tay Crowder cannot, obviously I don't know who's living with who on the football team, but Tay Crowder can't babysit Brenton Cox and Robert Beal 24 hours a day. At a point, it just falls on each individual player to realize, like you said earlier, it's a privilege to be on this team.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing stupid things, then maybe something will change and, and you won't be on the team anymore. And it's weird, or not weird, but Brenton Cox is a guy that played a lot as a freshman last year. Robert Beal was a guy who was coming on towards the end of last year. Obviously, with the departure of DeAndre Walker, he's a guy who is going to get a shot to at least be a big part of that outside linebacker rotation. It's not like these are guys buried down the depth chart who's sort of saying, well, I don't play anyway.
Right.
Who really cares if I get it? Who's going? You know what I mean? Like, these are guys that are, and not that it makes it excusable for a third string walk on defensive back to be walking around with weed in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon. But these are guys who've got a lot to lose. They've got a lot to lose, and to have the poor judgment with so much to lose, like, I'll roll in a blood smear with some weed in my pocket.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's like you said, it doesn't make any, because normally when you see this type of stuff, it's like the cops or like an RA is called in a dorm or something like that, and that's not what this. I mean, obviously we don't have the details. I guess that theoretically could have been what it was, but it's just in the middle of a day. It's such a weird. The timing of it is really weird.
Right, and you mentioned the players kind of self-policing themselves and whether the seniors can take them under their wing. I think that can happen to an extent, but another thing Kirby added yesterday in the press conference is that after practice ended, he met with kind of a leadership group on the team about what's going on and how they could fix it, and said there was enough frustration to go around. Everybody's just kind of fed up with it at this point because I think
so stupid.
It is. It's stupid, and I think that
things.
At this time in the spring and going into the fall, I mean, they don't want to have any of those off the field issues kind of looming. And like you said, especially with players that have a lot to lose, especially with a lot of the pieces that went out the door, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Tyler Simmons, the wide receiver core is gone.
Right.
He's got a real chance at being a part of this offense
right.
In the fall for Georgia. But then he goes and does something silly like getting a bar fight. And though he didn't get booked into the jail, he did get charged. He got the misdemeanor, and so it's just. You'd think that they would know better at a certain point where that kind of internal conscience kicks in that, hey, I've got a lot here that I can really throw down the drain by making a silly mistake or by doing something that literally takes a split second of thought to not do. But
and even Tyreek, kind of on a different plane of that, Tyreek Stevenson, highly touted recruit. He's early in early. It's his first 2 or 3 months away from home. But on the flip side of that, he's worked his whole life to get to this point, playing football at an SEC school, and then I forget he was the other guy in the cloud fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
him and Tyler Simmons.
So it's you work your whole life to get to this point, and then like you say, you do something stupid like getting in a fight with bar staff, not even like a guy who shoved you. Not that that's again excusable at all either, but just I don't know. It's at the bottom line. It's like what Kirby said yesterday. Some of these guys don't seem to realize what they have to lose, and B, what a privilege it is to be a scholarship football player at a SEC school. And
one thing that he added with that, just to go off of Tyler Simmons, Tyreek Stevenson, all that stuff, Kirby Smart said that 90% of the team, which he's got a fair point. Right now, they've got the least number of misses in class, not many tardies, and are doing the right things, but those 6 are going to kind of put out this image and that, wow, this is just a football team that goes out and doesn't care about off-field incidents because they think that when it comes in the fall that things are just maybe get handed to them or they're going to play well enough to where it won't matter. But, he said last week he knows that football players go downtown, that they have fun, but for the most part, they're smart about it. It's no surprise that there are Georgia football players enjoying the downtown scene. That happens, right? But just getting in a bar fight that
just don't get arrested
and don't let it spill into the street. I mean, it's not like it was a short little little fight.
You saying this, man? I've seen you.
I've never been arrested
a few times when it comes
the bar fight. Okay, one thing maybe they were.
Oh, I thought you said the bar fight as in.
No.
Yeah, as in you were in a bar fight.
No.
Right, I see. Maybe they're provoked. Okay,
don't slap someone in the face and run away.
Yeah.
And it was bar staff. You wouldn't think bar staff would do anything to provoke someone.
Man, I mean, it could happen.
It could happen, I guess, but it's not like it's a random.
These guys will deserve their day in court in their defense.
Yeah.
This will be reviewed, but just 6 since
February 28th.
Brini was last day of February.
Barely a month.
Yeah. That's crazy. I think 33
it's
days.
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
like an arrest every 5 days, basically.
Yeah. I was
Not
about to
good,
say, well,
Paul.
if they're, if it's couples getting arrested, at that point it makes it easier for them. But like you said, looking back at, say for me, with the 2017 national championship team with Nick Chubb, Sony, Roquan, that's like the leaders and the best players in those position groups. And then looking at this, where it's kind of dispersed out with every single group like we had outside linebackers, then we also had wide receivers and cornerbacks at that point. I mean, like you kind of have a nice mix of at least talking about the next guys up. But I look back at that team and look back at 2017 and how the leadership was really the best players in each position group. And I don't know if you mentioned it before, but how does this show? Is this any indicator of the leadership of the team at that point? Like for what you can say right now, or is it just like we said, you can't police everyone, you can't do that, but at the same time, you do want to have those older guys kind of. I mean, you didn't have that year is what I'm trying to make.
Right. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's hard to police everyone all the same. It's hard, like we said, for the leaders on the team to police everyone. I think.
Like, what would you say to them? Like, to players
right,
that are
what are you
getting in
supposed
trouble?
to say?
Yeah,
do your
Say
job.
the fault of the leaders?
Hey,
What are we supposed to say?
Don't
Hey,
get
guys,
arrested.
don't get arrested.
Right.
Well, obviously, you don't want to get arrested.
Right.
Like,
And the thing is,
yeah.
there's only so much, like, I mean, even when you say, all right, well, the leaders need to hold the players, or, like the older guys need to hold the younger players accountable. What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to make them, I mean,
Like, hey, get on the
what I
line
mean?
and run.
Are they going to make them run, like, stadium steps? Like, the players have the authority? Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean,
I think
until
until
take
there's
away their Xbox for a month, like, I don't know what, like, I don't know. It's hard because I'm going to think, like you said, it comes back to you can't police everyone all the time. But at the same time, knowing that you can't police everyone all the time means you've got to teach them. And I don't know what the word is.
I think just more than anything, like looking back into it, I think the only way I could really see it being a failure of leadership is they haven't bought into it yet. And understandable, like it's spring practice, it's not fall practice, and get the antics out the way. But like at that point, like with that national championship team, they were dialed in at that point, and they were already ready to go, at least to come back, and that was kind of.
I mean, you look at it too. I mean, in all fairness, the guys that have been arrested, it's not like it's all the early and early freshmen. I mean, Tyler Simmons, obviously a senior, that's gotten some playing time over the years. Jaden Hunter and Latavius Brini, they've been here. They don't get a ton of playing time, but they've been here a minute. But you look at Brenton Cox. He's young, but I mean, he's
experienced.
He's experienced. He played a lot as a freshman last year. This year he's probably is going to be looked at as as a leader of that outside linebacker room.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's age doesn't necessarily correspond with leadership. You know what I mean? Like, just because Brenton Cox is coming up on his senior or sophomore year, he's still probably being looked at to be one of the leaders of that room. So when you have a guy like him have something like this, that causes. I mean, I don't know how much Kirby's like sweating this at night, but he looks like once the season starts, is Brenton Cox a guy that can be counted on to lead these guys during times of adversity and all that kind of stuff. So,
and to your point, Jed, I think that it can kind of go one of two ways. Either this is going to keep going on throughout the spring where guys are going to get in trouble, or I feel like there's going to be maybe not a catastrophic event like somebody getting kicked off the team, but some sort of visible penalty, whether that's internal and not made public or whatever. There has to be some sort of consequence to, I guess, maybe really ingrain in the minds that, hey, if we get in trouble, we're not going to play, or we're not going to get to do all the things that you want to do in your time here. And so I think if they see that, then maybe it shapens the team up a little bit. But I don't know. I just think it's tough, and it goes back on the individuals. And like Colin said, I mean, there'll be more details that come out on how everything went down as time progresses. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's an individual choice that gets you in that spot, which...
Oh, they're just in a new territory as well.
Yeah.
As well, we really haven't seen anything like this under Kirby Smart. So
we've all seen The Office here, haven't we? Yes, Colin?
Yes.
Mine?
The Office?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, The Office.
TV
I was
show?
like,
yeah.
I was thinking
you
like
said
the
visible,
bar fight, The Office.
I
But
just
it
watched
took me
this
a second.
episode the other day. This is what I thought of. You said visible consequences. Mine. I thought of when Dwight goes to New York to like try to take Michael's job, and then he comes back, and Michael they hug it out, and then Michael makes him stand on the desk with like the liar sign hanging around his neck. Like if Kirby needs to have Brenton Cox and Robert Beal
like a different colored jersey in
stand at
practice.
the arch wearing a sign around their neck or something. Maybe that's what has to be done. But anyway, yeah,
First
and
Office
you would think
reference of the week. Here we
you
go.
would think comments like that from Kirby would maybe make guys think he's maybe not searching for someone to set an example for, but maybe the next guy that gets arrested is going to get an example made of him.
Yeah.
But then again, you would kind of think that after Tyreek Stevenson and Tyler Simmons incident,
Yeah,
you'd think that they would have thought the
been
same
it.
thing then. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we got a month or 3
Yeah, I was
weeks of
about
spring
to say.
practice left. So
They got time to clean up their act.
we'll
so
see. Maybe next week we'll have another incident to talk about, and maybe not.
Maybe
So,
not. Either
are we,
way.
are we taking bets, Colin?
No.
Okay.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
I'm not betting on whether human beings are going to get arrested, Jed. I'm not a monster.
Joke, Colin.
I'm not a
Jesus.
monster.
We lost enough bets anyway. So I was about to say.